Let's chat in the bedroom. Welcome back. Let me get this off. To Slow Roll. My name is Stephanie. Videos every Wednesday on disability topics, reviews, and the day-to-day. Today, I wanted to spend some time talking to you guys about one of my diagnoses and as well have a chat about how you should consider getting tested as well. A few years ago, after multiple testing and everything that I was going through, I somehow landed myself in a cardiologist's office. Third cardiologist I've seen. He goes through my file extensively. I spent just over an hour with him. When it comes to specialists, that's a really long time. Now, we had tried every avenue. He had reviewed pretty much everything, but he turned to me and asked me one question that I didn't expect. He said, "Have you ever had a sleep study done?" And I'm like, "No, I haven't, but I've never really considered it something I needed to do." Luke, who has had sleep apnea and went through the process of getting diagnosed with sleep apnea years ago, I know the process. We knew exactly what it looked like. We knew what the symptoms were. We knew all of that. And it didn't even dawn on me that that would be something we should consider. And so I said, well, why not? I've never had it done. Might as well add it to my long list of testing to do. So he sends in my request into the private clinic and we end up getting my test done. And about a week later, we get my test results back. And lo and behold, I have severe, very severe even, you would consider, sleep apnea. Once the test results came back, we were just a little shocked. Considering our extensive time around the medical field with all of my diagnoses and everything that's going on with me, we didn't really think twice about it. We knew what the symptoms and everything were, and Luke and I looked at each other and we're like, how the heck did we miss this? Like, it just didn't make any sense. And then we started thinking about it. Luke is a pretty hard sleeper. He doesn't get up very easily. He sleeps through just about anything. And back when I was 19, I had my tonsils removed and my adenoids removed, which the doctor at the clinic noted that it was definitely part of the process of how I got diagnosed. Those things would have made my sleep apnea a little bit better. And thinking back to when I used to have tonsillitis every 2 weeks, I woke up in the middle of the night all the time, gasping for air. It used to happen all the time, which is the big reason why we went through the process of getting my tonsils removed. For anyone that is thinking about getting their tonsils removed, I should actually do a video on this. Please, please, please leave a comment down below. Let's have a chat about it before, because it's one of the worst things I've ever been through my entire life. But once that got done, I had no breathing problems while I was sleeping once I recovered. So we never thought about it again. And lo and behold, I get the testing done. And here we are, fast track almost 10 years. And I have severe apnea. Now, severe apnea looks a little bit different for a few different people. Now, my testing came back at 40 episodes an hour, which means that within 60 minutes, I was having 40 moments in those 60 minutes where I would either stop breathing or would have a lower saturation of oxygen coming into my system, I should say. What we really weren't fathoming was the fact that when Luke got diagnosed, the big reason why we sent him in to get tested was he would snore really loudly and constantly. It was driving me absolutely bonkers. I honestly don't know how I slept through the first 3 years of us being together, because I must have gotten used to it, because it got so much better when he got his apnea machine. All of that went away. But what we didn't know was that apnea isn't snoring. They're two very different things. Now, is it a symptom and can it be? Yes. But like a lot of things when it comes to women and testing like sleep apnea machines, the major symptoms which are used as a guideline are symptoms that have been tested on men. Welcome to our medical field. So women's diagnoses are very different. A lot of the times women don't get diagnosed as quickly because we don't get tested. And the reason for that is because we don't have the level of severity and outward symptoms that men usually have, which is not really shocking to me when I found this all out, but was really interesting and fascinating because I'd never thought about it before. So lo and behold, I have severe apnea, not as severe as Luke's. Luke's apnea was about double that, and I don't know how he survived as many years as he did with the severe apnea he had. But considering all my fatigue and all my symptoms, and now the fact that I have severe apnea, well, hello, 2 and 2 together, I haven't been sleeping for the last almost 10 years since I got my tonsils removed properly. So, no duh, I haven't been feeling rested. Now, I say that very lightly because the reality is I've got a lot of other things going on. But for most people, if you were to get diagnosed with sleep apnea, get a machine, start using it consistently, you would feel 10,000 times better. I remember the first couple weeks of Luke using his machine. He went from sleeping 18 hours a day, having naps here and there because he would never feel rested, to being able to stay up for 16, 18 hours straight without having any fatigue. It was mind-boggling, the shift in symptoms he had. Now, I wasn't as lucky. My symptoms didn't get that much better, but that's not why you use the machine. And that's what people don't truly understand about apnea. The reality is yes, you're getting the machine so you can get better sleep and you can have that. But the real reason is to make sure that your heart is actually getting the proper level of oxygen in the blood that it needs to continue to function. One of the biggest things is that you can die at a young age from heart failure or heart issues due to the fact that while you were sleeping, because of these events, your heart isn't getting the oxygen and your body isn't getting the oxygen it needs to survive. And long term, that can have a massive impact on your health. And it's something that people don't take seriously enough. The reality of what could be if you do not get diagnosed with sleep apnea and you have severe apnea is death. We've heard stories of people who have been diagnosed after years of ignoring it, and doctors saying, had you continued to do this for even a few more years, it could have meant the end. And I don't say that to scare you. I say that because it's the reality. And a lot of people I've been talking to have told me, well, everyone's been getting diagnosed with sleep apnea lately. Everyone has a machine now. And the only reason, it's not because it's been less or more prevalent as time has gone on. It's just finally getting diagnosed. People are finally going to get this testing done and finally understanding the importance and the effect it can have on your life. So if you have symptoms of sleep apnea, which are as follows, please take this plea seriously and get yourself tested. Is the wait long? Yes. Is the test annoying? Absolutely. But is it worth it to find out whether or not you have apnea? I truly do believe. I've been bugging some of my family members to get tested for a few years now, and you guys better get this done. This is not that hard. For those of you who have insurance, almost every insurance company in Canada covers this test privately. So if you can avoid the public system and go to private clinics and get this done. You'll get it done within a week. It'll be a lot faster of a process. It's also much more enjoyable for that matter. We've compared the public to the private system. The public system is very lengthy in process, so if you can avoid it, and if you have insurance to pay for it, I hate to say this, but just go and get it done privately. You'll get it done a lot faster, and honestly, you'll be in and out, especially if you don't have apnea. But if you do, just know that you're not alone. So many of us have it. I have seen some improvement on my end. Luke has seen incredible improvement since he started his therapy with his machine. We're going to be doing an entire series on sleep apnea, the effects of sleep apnea, going through a review of the machine that I actually have and how it works, how you clean it, and everything like that. So we've got a couple apnea videos coming to you in the coming months. If any of you have any questions about apnea, any symptoms you have, and whether or not you should consider getting tested, please leave us a comment down below or send me a private message via the email in our description. I hope this has opened your eyes to understanding the impact of apnea and what and how it could potentially be affecting you or a family member. And please, 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 if you're not the one suffering and you have a spouse, a partner, husband, wife sleeping next to you that has potential sleep apnea, please, please find a way to convince them to get tested. I had to tell Luke that I wasn't gonna get married to him until he did, and sure enough, 2 weeks later, it was done. Don't know how that worked. It took me years to convince him to finally go, but we got it done. I made it happen. Ultimatums can work if you use them in the right way. And if there's one thing that you should use an ultimatum for, it's to make sure that medically your significant other is getting the support they need. And I really hope that this video helps somebody out there get tested and, you know, I'm not gonna say save lives, but just help somebody out there. It's just so critical, and it's honestly such a painless test from, you know, there's no needles or anything like that. It's easy peasy as much as it is annoying. And I really hope that out of this, someone will go get tested and get some help. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. We'll see you guys next Wednesday. Until then, don't forget to slow your roll and breathe. When we're talking testing, this one's 10,000 times worse. Check it out if you want to keep on the testing roll.